Let's make him run in this particular scene. I will click on Edit Action. I will say change the action to running. There you go. So he's running. And now let's change his expression. Think about the most iconic Pixar characters. This approach gives you much more predictable and accurate results. Red hoodie, denim jumpsuit, red cap. There you go. Pretty cool, right? Avoid typing transparent background in your prompt. It doesn't work. There is an option here, transparent background. Click on that.
Another question that has repeated in the chat is, can I upload my photo and cartoonize it?
Be very clear and vivid in your prompt and description. Don't leave anything up to chance. I'll show you how AI can transform your stories into beautiful cartoon illustrations and how easy the process really is. You don't need to be a designer or an AI expert to do this. With the process and AI tool we'll cover today, you will see how anyone can create these amazing story visuals. During this workshop, we'll have a live demo and I will show you how to create consistent cartoon characters for your story illustrations with ease. Let's get started. So here's what we'll learn today. First thing is prompting techniques for character development. Secondly, how to create high quality cartoon illustrations. Third, we'll walk through a step-by-step process for designing consistent characters with different actions and expressions. And we'll also cover multiple character consistency, as this is the most requested from a lot of people. And of course, we'll have a live demo of consistentcharacter.ai. A quick note, we run these free workshops every month as part of the community we are building, and we are super excited to take you on this journey with us. So, how to illustrate your story with AI, right? So that's a super exciting topic. And we'll talk about the process involved, the creative process that is involved when you have to set yourself up to be able to illustrate these characters for your stories. So here's how it works. You start with your story idea, which is the concept, the message, the world that you're trying to build, right? Next, you break it down into these two key elements, which is you need to define your character and your scene. So the character and the scene. And here's what you need to define. For example, who is your main character? What do they look like? And what's their personality? Next, you need to get clarity on what are the specific moments in your story. That is the key scenes that you really want to create and visualize, actually illustrate. So once you have those defined, you can create these illustrations to show different actions and expressions and backgrounds. And the final result of this process is your illustrated story. The magic here is that you design your character once, you define your scenes, and then you can generate every variation that you need, right? You're not starting from scratch every single time. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the character development process, because this is the most important aspect which makes or breaks your story finally. Let's take a look what that looks like. Let's talk about the character DNA, because this is the foundation of everything. Character DNA is simply the core description of your character. It's what makes them recognizable across different scenes that you're creating. A good character prompt has three parts. First is the subject, like who are they? In this particular case, a young girl. Second, any specific features. So what really makes that character unique? For example, long brown hair and bangs. And third is the outfit. What are they wearing? For example, a yellow raincoat and boots. So you put it all together and you have your final character description prompt. A young girl with long brown hair and bangs wearing a yellow raincoat and boots. Very clear, very visual, and you will be able to create a wonderful character illustration like this. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. And we have seen this very commonly. That they think that if I add more details, my character will be more unique and compelling, right? And that's actually the opposite of how it works. Think about the most iconic Pixar characters. For example, Nemo, like orange fish, white stripes, small fin, or Woody from Toy Story. Cowboy hat, vest, sheriff badge, right? That's the whole look of the character. So these characters are memorable because they are simple and focused, not because they have 15 different details going on in there. If you overload your prompt with too many features, three of these things can happen, which is one, your audience can't remember what makes your character special. Secondly, the character loses impact. So, because simplicity is what really makes it stick and click to the users, to the readers. And finally, the AI struggles to maintain consistency. It'll drop the details or mix them up across the scenes. And this is exactly why it's important to keep your character DNA tight, which is pick 2 to 3 memorable features and let those define your character. Next, when you're crafting the prompts for each story scene based on your character that you have defined, following these simple framework really makes it easy. So think about character emotions in that specific scene. Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they surprised? Next, decide on their actions. Are they like walking, running, or reading? Finally, place them in the right setting. It may be a park, a library, or even a magical forest, right? So this simple framework helps you guide the AI to create consistent and meaningful visuals that align perfectly with your story. It's like building your character in a scene piece by piece until they feel real and they evoke the right emotions in the observer. And it's very important to get clarity on this and follow this step-by-step process. When writing effective prompts for image generation compared to how a lot of us use ChatGPT, right? Because a lot of us are familiar with ChatGPT as the most common tool. It's very important to know these essential do's and don'ts, which will dramatically improve the quality and accuracy of the generated images. Because image generators work differently from large language models like ChatGPT, and we'll cover some of those important tips. Let's start with the tip number one, and this is probably the most important one. Instead of describing your entire story or sequence of events, you need to focus on just capturing one specific frozen moment in time. So think of it like you're taking a photograph. You're not filming an entire movie, you're just capturing a single frame. So when I write my prompt, for example, girl reading a book in a library, the AI immediately knows what to create. It's a specific scene with very clear visual elements it can render. But when you write something like the girl goes to the library, finds a book, reads, then leaves, and let's say you have an entire story, you're giving the AI the whole story arc, especially the AI image generators. It and eventually it doesn't really know which moment to choose, and you will often get confusing or generic results because you're not focusing on one specific moment to illustrate that particular scene. So the key here is to think visually. Ask yourself, if you had to freeze the time right now in this particular scene, in this particular story, what would you like to see? And that is going to be your prompt. Tip number two is about precision. So vague language leads to vague results. And of course, the more specific you are, you will get much better results from any AI tool, especially with AI image generators. Think of this particular example. A man typing fast on a keyboard at his office desk. This creates a clear, actionable image. The AI knows exactly what pose, what activity, what scene to create. But let's say you write a prompt like a man hacking the system. What does that even look like visually, right? The AI has to guess, just like any other person has to guess what scene you have in your mind. Maybe it shows someone at a computer, maybe someone breaking into a building. You're leaving too much open to chance. So here's my thumb rule. Avoid words like maybe, bit like. These words signal uncertainty, and these kind of prompts lead to very varied results which you cannot really control. So be decisive and clear about what you really want to create. Now, here's tip number 3, and this one might surprise you. Always use positive language in your prompts. And what do I mean by that? When you say like prompts like clean shaven instead of no beard, you're giving the AI a clear instruction about what pixels to actually create. It's about how AI image generators process language. These are not large language models like or LLMs like ChatGPT. They are not optimized for natural language processing. You might have actually faced this frustrations many times when you're trying to tell image generation, for example, and I've heard this multiple times from users within ChatGPT or any other AI tools. It simply does not listen to what you are writing, and in fact, maybe create more of what you tell it not to create. And I've seen the prompts in bold capital letters. Actually, I've seen this a lot from our users, like they're literally screaming at it, right? And it's the same with ChatGPT, same with any other AI image generator. And that's because negative phrasing within your prompt doesn't really work. It actually backfires when you're using writing your prompts this way. So instead of typing no clouds, say clear blue sky in your prompt. Instead of no hat, describe the hair that the character has. So this approach gives you much more predictable and accurate results because you're directing the AI's attention to exactly what you want to see. All right. So keep this in mind, very important, as I understand that this is a natural way of saying things, but it doesn't really work when you want to illustrate your images for your story. Now, all this being said, character consistency, especially for cartoon characters, is still one of the biggest challenge. That was until now. Let me quickly introduce ourselves. I'm Sachin Kamath, and the one who welcomed you is my co-founder, Diana Dibble. We are the founders of Neolemon and ConsistentCharacter.ai. Our platform is a beginner-friendly AI platform for creating consistent cartoon character illustrations for your stories, books, educational, and marketing materials. So anyone who is children's book author, writer, self-published author, right, who needs consistent characters across every page of their story, content creators, YouTubers, social media creators, and storytellers who are building cartoon character driven content, and educators and teachers who are creating these visual stories and lesson materials and educational content for students to make the materials more engaging. It's perfect for all these use cases. After hearing so many struggle with character consistency, we decided to test an idea and built a GPT called Consistent Character GPT. It's an absolutely free solution on ChatGPT. And this GPT asked users a few basic questions about their character and then generated characters that could stay consistent, allowing them to create multiple images for their story. And at that time, we didn't think it would become popular at all. But to our surprise, it gained traction very quickly. Users of Consistent Character GPT loved its simplicity, but also pointed out its limitations, right? You cannot do everything within ChatGPT. Their feedback showed us what truly mattered, and that led us to build ConsistentCharacter.ai as as a standalone application. What makes it different? First, this solution offers maximum consistency with best state-of-the-art AI models fine-tuned for cartoon generation. Your character's face, clothing will look similar across multiple scenes. Secondly, it's convenient. You don't need to spend hours writing complex prompts. The tool simplifies the process for you. And finally, you are in control. You can customize the character's emotions, actions, outfit, background, scenes to match your story perfectly. Also, it's the first tool which implements multiple character consistency workflow. And our pro users are telling us it's their favorite compared to anything else out there. Consistent Character.ai is perfect for creating these book illustrations, creating illustrations which you can then turn into animation using AI video generators, as well as for creating lessons and presentations. So with just a few clicks, you can create visuals that instantly make your content more engaging and memorable. So what does the step-by-step process actually look like? And we'll walk through this step-by-step demo as well right after this. Step one, you create your character, right? You use our character turbo feature to generate your base character. This becomes your image reference, your character DNA, which we talked about. You might generate it a few times to get close to what you want. And once you have it, you're done with the hardest part, right? So that's the hardest part of first illustrating your cartoon concept. And the step two is now creating scene illustrations for the character. Here you can simply use our editors to create every scene. Use Action Editor to put your character in different poses. You can use Expression Editor to change their emotions. You can use Outfit Editor to try different looks. And you can use the Background Editor to place them in different settings. So one character, endless variations, right? All of them consistent. So you design once, then you create as many scenes as your story needs. And it avoids all that troublesome of being timed out on ChatGPT, taking too long to generate anything. And once you log out, log in, and after like later point in time you want to continue, the character is completely lost. All of this is taken care with the tool that is designed. You also have the flexibility in creating using these 12 different styles. We launched this just over a month ago. Again, it's fully focused on cartoon illustration style, and you'll love the different styles that you can truly create within the app. Quick tip on our dashboard, and I think this is a very common question we get asked as well. We recommend creating one character per chat. And here's why. When you create a character in our app, all the scenes you make with that character, every action, every expression, outfit, background, it's automatically saved together in one folder. This keeps your project organized and saves you a ton of time, right? Now you can also upload an external character. Another most important question get asked. How do you upload an external character, which let's say you have created one in ChatGPT or another tool? You can skip step one and step two and go straight to our action editor, expression editor here on the dashboard. So you can use one of these and start creating variations and creating scenes. So with external characters, the images are saved within the editor itself. So not here on the dashboard, they are saved within each of these editors. So if you want to go back and continue, you'll have to go within and you will find all your generation history in here. If you use Character Turbo, you will be able to seamlessly manipulate them and vary them with different editors. So the bottom line here is if you want the smoothest workflow, create your character inside the consistent character.ai using the Character Turbo, and everything stays organized automatically. Otherwise, you'll have to create individually, download them, upload them into a different editor, and make variations. So it's time consuming. You can also create scenes with multiple characters using our multiple character feature right now. And here's how it works. First, you create character one using Character Turbo, download that image, then create character two by opening a new Character Turbo, download that image as well. Now upload both the character images to multi-character feature, write a simple prompt describing their action, and like you can add the background and then generate. That's it. You can now tell your stories with multiple characters interacting together. And this is how you can bring your full story to life by following all of these techniques and all of this process. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you right now in our demo. We'll walk through the entire process from character concept to creating the variations, and also we'll see how to use the multiple character consistency feature.
Are you guys excited for the demo? In case you have not used any AI before to illustrate your images, please let us know. In case you have any questions, we are happy to help and answer them. Feel free to reach out in the chat.
Okay, I hope you all can see my screen.
We can see your screen.
Okay, sorry for that. Good, so let's get started. Now, to get started, there are a couple of ways, but right now I already have my character DNA and character description very well defined. So if this is the case, if you already know the character description and you have, let's say, written it down or you have it somewhere, you can directly start creating it by clicking on Character Turbo. So I'm going to click on Character Turbo because this is where you start concepting your cartoon characters. So I'm going to click on Character Turbo. And what do we have here? Here you can, if you have a name for the character, you can add that. Next, so make sure you're on Turbo V2. This is our best cartoon creation model. By default, it's Turbo V2. And now all you need to think of is the character description that you already have, and the action and expression and the background, and then the aspect ratio and the style. We'll come to that. So I have a character description already here. So that's my character description. Young African American boy, short curly hair, smooth dark skin, wearing a blue t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. His youthful face is full of joy, with eyes sparkling with excitement. And look how well defined and so vivid the prompt is, right? Also, no negative phrasing. I'm not saying don't do this, don't do that. And I'm only focusing on concepting my cartoon character. I'm not worried about the rest of the story. I'm only focused on creating one cartoon character right now. The best way to start doing this is to create a full body front view of your character. And I'll tell you why. This is because once you have your full body front view of the character that you want as part of your stories and you want to create different scenes with the character, if you have it full body with front view, you can create variations very consistently because the AI has a very good view of the full character and the details of the character, right? The proportions, the outfit. So nothing is left to chance. So if this is the kind of consistency that you're looking for, please make sure you start with a very well defined full body front view of the character. And now I'm adding a background. So I start with, in the background, a sunny park setting. The sky is clear blue with a few fluffy clouds casting soft shadows across the scene. All right, so you can define your background in here. And yeah, so with this, now I can select the aspect ratio and you can select the style. So you can select from 12 different illustration styles. There are some over here when you scroll down as well. A lot of users love exploring these styles. I'm gonna use Pixar inspired for now because that's the most favorite of all our users. And a lot of people use Pixar inspired. And that's it. I have everything that I need. I'm going to hit generate. In the meantime, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. I'm pretty sure Diana is already answering them. All right, there you go. Within seconds, we have our cartoon character concept ready. Again, to keep in mind, it's to have the best results, create a full body front view of the character first. And as you can see, all the details are clearly visible. And now I can start making consistent variations. And here's what we are going to do. Right after that, it's going to prompt you to next step, which is using the action editor. So once we have concepted the character using Character Turbo, the next step is to use Action Editor to create different variations. All right, so click on Action Editor. And right away, I see this particular UI, right? So this dashboard. We are in Action Editor. We are using our latest cartoon character consistency model, Edit V3. That's by default, so keep it at that. And this is the selected image, which has a clear view of the entire character. And now I can simply define the action that I want to change. So change the action to, I can write over here whatever I'm looking for, what action I want to change. And there are also some quick examples right now that we launched. So you can explore some of these quick examples, which is very well suited for cartoon scene illustrations. So let's start with waving hello and with waving hello and smiling. All right, there you go. And hit generate. And that's it. I just have to define the action. I don't need to worry about the cartoon character, like any other details. All of that is taken care. So now I have the character waving hello and smiling. And if I scroll down, you'll see the original that we created. Now let's try another action. So let's try this side view. So when I start typing, it also suggests me some of these examples. Side view. All right, so let's do that. And I'm always using this image as my reference, the front view image, to create variations, because that's where I get the maximum consistency. And there you go. So we have the character side view. Scroll down, you have everything else in there. Let's try something else. Let's try a different action. Riding a red scooter on the street. That's it, right? Change the action to riding a red scooter on the street and hit generate. There you go. If you want, you can generate another variation as well. So it's the same character and he is riding a red scooter on the scene. So you can combine, I think we get this question as well. Can I combine, make other changes? So yes, I did change also the background in here, riding a red scooter on the street, but I highly suggest using those individual editors. And this is what we'll do right now. Let's try to change the outfit. Let's go back to this one. So let's say I want to change the outfit of this image, not this one, but this image. All right. So I can hover on this image that is generated and I can select edit outfit. And now the selected image is this one. And I can type what is the outfit that I want to change. Let's say green sweater and white pants. That's it. It's as simple as that. And there you go. So it's the same image and the outfit is green sweater and white pants. What if I want to, like as part of my story scenes, I want to place him in a library. I have changed the outfit. I have this particular action done. Now I want to add him in a library. So now I will click on edit background. And let's say I can type a library, change the background to library. And I clicked on this image because this is the reference that I want to use to keep the character, the outfit, everything consistent, but I want to change the background. And there you go. He's in a library now. Let's try another variation. So I'll go back to my original image. Let's try this one because I'll always go back to my full front view of the character if this is where I want to make the variation from. So I'll click on edit outfit and let's try a different outfit for him. Let's try this one. Red hoodie, denim jumpsuit, red cap. There you go. Pretty cool, right? It changed multiple different elements on the character while keeping everything else consistent. And the background is exactly the same, which was in the original. Let's try beige shorts and orange t-shirt. There you go. So we have this one. And now let's change the background. And lastly, I'll show you something pretty cool. Edit background. So I want to use this image and I want to add him in a coastal village and cobbled streets, like to match the outfit. Okay, there we have it. Now let's make him run in this particular scene. I will click on edit action. I will say change the action to running. Okay, so I already have an example. I'll use that. There you go. So he's running. And now let's change his expression. If you think of when you want to create a scene, he is running and I have changed the action, I've changed the background, I've changed the outfit. Now, finally, I want to get the expression right as well. I can say, let's say annoyed face. Maybe he's annoyed and he's starting to run towards someone. So I just had to choose from the quick examples, change the face expression to annoyed face, and there you go. Let's generate another one. Or we can try angry face as well and see how we can make those variations come alive. And everything that you generate is stored in here. I can always go back. You can sign up at any other point in time and you can start creating new variations, right? So everything is in here. I have done the same thing for this character. I created a full front body view of this monster concept. Then let's say side view of the character, then waving hello with right hand, pointing forward with right index finger, focused look. I also changed the look over here and I got that. Then change the expression to shocked face. This expression was not working for this image and I wanted to show shocked face and I did that. So you can think of how you can layer up each of these editors and start constructing each of the scenes and tell your story. Now, with all that being done, the most important thing in here is how to download. And we get this, how do you create transparent background? All right. So if you want to download any of these images, you can simply hover on that image and click on this download icon, and you'll be able to download a high quality image. 2x the resolution, like a much higher quality image. You can upscale the image. It's completely free. And you'll be able to get a 2x 2K resolution as an output, which is perfect for printing for books. You can upscale it and then download the image. Now, the most common mistake that we have seen is users wanting to create transparent background. And what they do is they type here in the prompt, transparent background, which is a mistake. This is not how transparent background works. Transparent background is a different format, a PNG format image output with no background, right? So the complete background is removed. So avoid typing transparent background in your prompt. It doesn't work. That's not the way to remove the pixels. Neither clicking edit background and typing transparent background, that doesn't work either. There is an option here, transparent background. Click on that, and now it's removing the background, so there will be no pixels. You can download it, and now it's actually the transparent background. You can download this image, and the background will be transparent. All right, now coming to the most exciting and requested part, multi-character consistency. Let's get to it. I'm going back to the dashboard, and here on the dashboard, you will see over here multi-character. All right. And with our recent launch, we have our V2 model, which is the best in class to create multiple character consistency, 2 characters in one single scene. And I'll show you how to do that. So in here, you will see 2 image upload fields, right? You can upload 2 characters. So you need to focus on uploading each individual character, and the best results are when you have a detailed image of the full body of a character. And let me show you this example. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to upload this image of the character, of the cartoon character. And as you see, it's the same thing which we followed in step 1 of Character Turbo. So you can use Character Turbo to create each of these character illustrations. And it's very important to have them full body front view so that the AI can really understand the details of the entire cartoon character and not just a close up of the face, or the character maybe is on in a side view. Make sure you have a full body front view of the character. So I have my character 1, and now I will click on character 2. So I have both the characters, character 1, character 2. I can rename the character over here. I'm going to keep it simple, boy and girl. So at boy, at girl. And now my prompt is, when I have to type I need to describe the scene with both the characters in it. And here you can think of where are the characters located in that scene, like the position of the characters. Secondly, their action and interaction. And thirdly, what is the scene about, right? Like a background, any details in there. So if you can structure it this way, you'll get a very high quality, very clear output. So here we need to start tagging the character. So the way you do it is you type at, and when you do that, you will be able to pick the character from here. So boy or girl, right? So you can pick each of the characters. So I have my example prompt already to copy and paste that. The girl and the boy, they stand at the edge of a massive cliff, peering down nervously. The boy crouches, tossing a pebble off the edge. The girl looks out, deep in thought. Vast canyon bathed in mist, no visible bridge. I don't think this is needed. Wind rustles the clothes. Okay, so as you see, there is a very clear direction of what the visual should look like. If you tell it to another person, the person can very easily visualize what you're thinking. Be very clear and vivid in your prompt and description. Don't leave anything up to chance. And now I select, like we have the square aspect ratio. We will be adding additional aspect ratios in the upcoming launches, and hit generate. And there you go. Pretty cool. It has understood the entire prompt. Everything is very clear, and it's able to create this amazing scene with both these characters being consistent, and you can change the action expression of the character as you like. And this way, you can now think of what is your scene as part of that story, not the entire story, just that particular scene that you want to illustrate, and add those description over here and follow a structure so that the AI can really understand what you have in your mind. Let's try another simple one. I'm going to keep it very simple. Boy is giving a red rose to the girl. And the background is cobbled street. There you go. So this way you can create some amazing illustrations for your story. I have an example over here with multiple character consistency and the prompt that I used, right? So here I use the exact same process that I showed you, and here is the prompt. So this is scene 1. The scene 2 of the story is close up of the boy throwing his hands up in frustration. And I'm defining the second character. So same process, defining the prompt very clearly, defining the 2 characters in that particular scene with the action details and anything else that you want to add. This is the scene number 3, close up of the girl squinting at a distance at a source of shimmering light. The girl stretches her foot forward and places it on a magical bridge. The boy watches, breath held. Right? Pretty cool. So it understood my prompt details very well. And then they walk slowly, right? The girl leads, and you can define each of these prompts and then create a beautiful story scene, and you can build different scenes of that particular story. So this is how you can use multiple character consistency.
Thank you, Sachin, for the demo. Please show us some Zoom hearts and share in the chat in case you liked the demo. In case you have more questions, feel free also to share those questions. We are happy to cover all the questions that we received today. Thank you very much for sharing. Such you don't see the chat, but there are a lot of hearts and nice comments.
Awesome. I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
And I see we have in the audience a few of our users. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to see you as well. Wonderful. We can see your slides right now, and I see the step-by-step guide. I will drop in the comments right now links. You can access the application. Each new user will receive 20 free credits, and you can start experiencing this app for free. No credit card required. You will have 20 credits, which means 5 generations, 5 images are for free. You will also receive the step-by-step guide and one additional link with how you can get bonus. But before we will dive into this, just to answer the question that we received previously, we have only one plan. It's $29. And each month, it's a monthly subscription. You will receive 500 credits, which will allow you to create more than 125 illustrations. It's definitely a good amount that we have tested for the children books. But in case you need more credits, there is also an opportunity later to buy extra credits for your project if you are working on a big project. You will also get access to the Prompt Easy. This is the feature that can generate the prompts for you based on the image, based on your voice. You don't have to type, or it also can enhance the prompt that you have provided for the best results for the concept creation. There are no credits deducted for creating the text prompts. Each image generation will cost 4 credits, so you will have a lot of credits to experiment with, create different characters in different styles, test those 12 styles, which one you like the most, but that's not the only solution. You also can upload your own characters in whatever cartoon style you prefer and generate new scenes with them. We have not covered it during the demo, but in case we'll have more questions about this, we'll return and show you how you can do this. You will also be able to download your images for free and upscale your images for free. And we have expression editor, outfit editor, background editor, and the magic eraser in case you want to erase some element from your image and only then to download. You will be able to create illustrations with multiple characters, with 2 characters consistently, and you can, in case your scene has more characters, you can prompt them in the background. And also, you can reach out always to our support by email. We are personally reading each email and replying and helping our users to get the best results. If this is their use case and the fit for them, we are happy to help you as well and learn and develop your picture book, story, and images for your animation project. Thank you, Sachi. Let's right now share the next slide. The common questions that have been repeating in the emails that I'm receiving and as well today in the chat is, can we create a non-human character or animal character? Yes, this is possible, and you can create them in our application. Or if you have already developed this character, you can upload that image to application to create multiple character scenes, or just with this character in different actions, backgrounds, outfits, and so on. The second question is the background consistency. And the background consistency is highly requested feature, and we will be working on developing more features to keep your backgrounds consistent, to upload the image of your background. But right now, you can prompt your background while creating your character and download that image and use this image as a reference. In case you have the image of the character with the background and you will upload it to the system, the next scene that you will create in Action Editor with your character doing new action will have the background the same. It will stay consistent. In case you want to move your character around the background, we suggest to download your character image with the transparent background and use the software like Canva, where you can plug and play with different layers. You can upload your background and then you can upload your character and move them around to position them in such composition as you want. Soon we will be launching new features where you will be able to create the character in different position, facing backwards, forward, view from the side, a 3/4 view, but at the moment, this is the solution for you. And you also can buy, as I mentioned, extra credits in case you have a more demanding project. That is possible. Another question that has repeated in the chat is, can I upload my photo and cartoonize it? Yes, this is possible. You need to use the feature which is called photo to cartoon. You can upload your photo to this feature, provide the prompt which describes the character that might be even you, and generate it in whatever style is your favorite, and have the cartoon version of yourself or of your character. Next, you can also create many scenes with this character doing new actions and use all the other editors that Sachin previously has showcased to us. And before I will dive into chat, because there are many questions, I would love to share about the bonus that we have for you. In case we will not cover everything because we are in time, you can reach out to us. But the bonus, I will again send all the links to you. Please make sure to click the last link, which is the bonus 100 credits. Just follow the steps outlined in this link, and we are happy to share 100 bonus credits for you sharing about your experience creating with our app or attending today's workshop.